Good morning, good morning. Well, interesting. I used a new method of connecting, or scheduling, I should say, and I'm not going live on YouTube. I'm just going to go live on my personal Facebook page, and I see that nobody's joined yet, so we'll see what happens here. Let me go look at my pages again. All right. That seems to be good. Um, mm, 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 mm. Let's do this. And we'll do this. Yeah, there's somebody on. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, okay. So it's showing up on Facebook. Good, good, good. All right. Well, today is January 13th. Apple Watch says 35 degrees here. And it's a little chilly, although it's warming up really nice here in the Kansas City area. Let's take a look at weather cam. It's a beautiful morning here in Kansas City metro area. Yeah, it's looking good, looking good, looking good. So how are we doing today? Um, yeah, so we've got some crazy stuff going on, don't we? Yeah, we have what can only be called a travesty that happened on Capitol Hill last week. The country is reeling from that, and we're trying to figure out what the heck's going on in our country. And Congress right now is about to impeach the president for the second time, which is unprecedented. So we're in a lot of turmoil, and we've already had a crazy turmoil of a year last year, and we're moving into a beginning of a crazy turmoil now. And but there's hope on the horizon, and that we'll come through this. That will persevere. That will start to lock down a little bit, continue to wear our masks and social distance. Was disappointed to see the crazy celebration in Alabama. Congratulations to them, but I just don't understand people gathering in crowds right now. But we're going to get the vaccination, and we're going to get it out, and we're going to all be fine. We're going to be good. All right. So today we're going to talk about success because I've cracked the code on success. Do you believe me? Do you believe that I have cracked the code on how to be successful? Well, stay tuned. We'll find out. Find out if it's true and what I've got to say about it and what you've got to say about it. Well, good morning. If you're just joining, say hello, say hi, how's it going, where you from, and what's new? How's the weather? I don't know. I'm at that age where, I like to talk about the weather because it has to do a lot to do with my mood. I wish I wasn't true, but it is true. Speaking of the weather, let's do weather cam. I just love that. I got little weather cam. I don't know. I just think that's cool. My name is J. Scott MacMillan, and I'm the author of Be the Hero of Your Life. And this is a book I wrote to help me figure out how to get unstuck in life. When I was just really stuck and stagnant, in chronic pain, my marriage was failing, my health was really failing, my job was just stagnant, unfulfilling, and I really had to get out of a hole. And through lots of journaling and therapy and coaching and reading a ton of books, I figured out a system using the hero's journey of all things to help us understand our lives better. It helped me understand who I really was and that I had been a hero in my life at some point, and I could do it again. And so it gave me the courage to face my current fears and really dive in to figure out what were my limiting beliefs and to then heal those limiting beliefs and create new powerful positive beliefs that I could then anchor into my psyche through visualization, through meditation, and just constant practice. And healed my life. And I wrote the book, published the book, started working with clients, and I've helped a lot of people really get their life figured out and unstuck and on to living their dream life. So if that all sounds interesting to you, please connect with me. Get on my website, www.jscottmacmillan.com, and let's talk. I'd love to talk to you. You can schedule an appointment for free, and we'll talk. And you'll learn what it's like to take your own hero's journey, which is an amazing, amazing thing. All right, so crack the code on success. Well, it's in here. The way to success is in here, but let's talk about this a little bit. So what the heck do I mean by that? Well, I know it sounds like a bold statement, but like I said, I've read every self-help book. I've been to therapists. I've been to coaches. I've really spent a lot of time looking into, for me, what was sabotaging me, what was getting in my way of success. After I left the corporate world, I became an entrepreneur, and I really struggled, and I couldn't figure out why, because I really had every advantage. I had every reason to be successful, yet I wasn't. And I realized it was inside here. And it really came from a fundamental belief that I wasn't good enough. And that was my limiting belief that I had to really, really dive in there and understand what it was. So I jump ahead a little bit. So let me back up. The key to success, and it's so simple, is confidence. It is confidence in oneself. It is the belief that you can handle whatever comes your way, that you have mastered whatever it is that you're working on, that your work is, or whatever it is that, however you define success. And that, my friends, is what's different about everybody, because everybody defines success differently. It's not always about money, but sometimes it is. Sometimes it's about family. Sometimes it's about being a philanthropist and helping other people. Sometimes it's to sit on a mountaintop and meditate. Whatever it is, the key to it is to having perfect and unconditional self-confidence in your ability and in who you are, really at your essence, at your core. Just the confidence, just exuding that belief that you've done your work, that you found what your limiting beliefs are, and you've cleared them out so that you can just expand and enjoy life. And as simple as that sounds, it's not that simple. We are all, I was going to say we're all born. We're not born with these limiting beliefs, but they're created from 1 to around 7. What I call sort of the primary set of limiting beliefs, to just protect us, because we come into this world so fragile, and we need to just rely on outside sources for everything. And so we haven't formed our psyche yet, our ego to protect us. So we come up with beliefs. And when I say that, what I mean is that, let's just use an example. Let's just say that your parents aren't that attentive to you, and you have needs, simple as hunger, or you need to talk to somebody, or you fall down and get hurt and there's no one there, to help you or whatever. And you start to learn that no one's going to be there to help you. And what happens is these beliefs, because we're in this really critical time of our life where we are just absorbing thoughts and ideas and feelings from everywhere, and we can't really discern them and parse them and figure them out, they can just get locked into our subconscious and into our bodies, actually. And we aren't consciously aware of them. And then we grow up with them still there. And then as adults, human adults, they come out and they are triggered by situations in our environment. And we go back to being that 6 year old boy or girl and we react in that pattern. That's what I call a limiting belief. It's a limiting negative belief that was created when you're young and carried forward into your life. And it isn't something that's in your conscious mind as an adult. And so it's really hard to figure this out. It takes work, it takes time, it takes sometimes therapy, but it can take just a good coach, a good book, a good method. It takes you wanting to crack that code. And so the second tier is after about 7 to 22, 21, 22, where we're just before we become adults. That's another time where these limiting beliefs can really get locked in. Things happen in our life, and we take on this belief that this is the only way. Whether it's no one's going to love me because you broke up with somebody, or you had a couple relationships that broke up. Now no one's going to ever love you. You don't deserve love. You lock that into your subconscious, and then you move on into your adulthood, and you have another relationship as an adult, and let's say you break up, and you're either mad or sad or really upset, can't get over it. You've been triggered back to that feeling that you don't deserve love or that you're not good enough, whatever that may be. It's typically a lot of those two and a couple others, and that's how you behave. And until you unwind those, look into what those are, and realize that one, they were created when you're young, and one, they were false then and they're really false now as an adult. They have no correlation, and that usually will help unearth it and dissolve it a little bit. But typically, you need to really get in there and reprogram it. I call it reprogramming because you can, if you have sufficient time and attention to understanding how you get triggered back to that limiting belief, and intentionally then watching yourself so that when you do get triggered, you watch yourself and you see that it happened now as an adult. What you're doing is you're bringing that subconscious into the conscious so you can deal with it. Because when it's in the subconscious, you can't deal with it. You don't know it's there. It comes out and it's in a behavior. It doesn't even hit your consciousness. It just comes from the subconscious into a behavior when you're triggered. So you have to reprogram that. And you can do it by being aware of it and then being conscious of it and saying, well, that's not true anymore. And you can also do it through visualization of replacing that negative belief, limiting belief, with a powerful new belief that you consciously visualize performing and doing and being and how that feels. And you do that as a daily practice of meditation and visualization. You can literally reprogram that neural network, clear out that limiting belief from your subconscious. It may never totally go away, but the power of it can be reduced greatly. And that's the key to success, because you won't be successful until you've cleared that out. Because every time that you go into a situation, if that subconscious limiting belief is still there, then it will always cloud how you deal with your life as an adult. And if it is the classic, I'm not good enough, then you will always be triggered into that. When something comes up that is uncomfortable, you'll get triggered back to that, and it will eventually sabotage and erode your success. So you're probably saying, well, I know lots of very successful people that could care less about any of this mumbo jumbo. They've never done any of that stuff. Well, I would say to that a couple of things. One, that first of all, they may have dealt with their limiting beliefs somehow, some way, and either unknown to them or to anyone else, they may have cleared that out somewhere along the way. And they don't deal with that because it's gotten cleared. For most of us, that's not the case. We have to clear them. The other thing too is that you can be successful. Anyone can be successful temporarily, from hard work and from whatever, temporarily. But typically, Sustained success is going to take clearing out these limiting beliefs and just pure, true confidence, not cocky self-confidence, but just true belief in oneself because you've gone through the journey, you've done the work. My throat's a little dry this morning. So that's the key. The other thing I will say is that if they are successful, and even if they maintain it without clearing out the limiting negative beliefs, they're probably suffering in other areas. They probably aren't doing well in their relationships or other areas in life because without clearing them out, they will come back to haunt you. It's another good way to put it. They will come back to haunt you. So I guess the next question is, well, how in the heck do you clear them out? Well, I created a method in my book that I covered in my book called The Transformational Ladder. Now, I use the hero's journey to help you understand your life and how, by putting your life into each stage of the hero's journey, because there's 12 stages, you understand all the events in your life that have made you who you are today. Now, we may not go back to the critical time of, when you were 7 or younger, but we're going to understand the arc of a major path in your life and how it's made who you are today. And that sometimes you have the ability to move forward, and sometimes you were stuck. Now, you either have completed a long path journey of 10 to 15 years or more, or you're in the middle of that journey. And so we figure out where you are in that. And a lot of times it does uncover some clues to what these limiting beliefs are. But the next step then is to do what I call the transformational ladder. And that is to go down, dive deep down in now to where these limiting beliefs may have occurred. And if you can, get back into those early years. Now, it's not therapy, it's not psychoanalysis, it's not hypnosis, it's none of that. It's simply asking questions and intentionally focusing on periods of your life and uncovering situations and events that may have created these limiting beliefs. And so once we unearth a couple of these, then we just take them into the present, and we basically realize that they're false, that they were created to protect us when we were young, and that now, as adults, we can get rid of them. They no longer are needed, and we can delete them, and just by intention. And then we reprogram them into new, positive, empowering beliefs. That's climbing back up the ladder, and then we anchor them into the psyche with meditation and visualization. And that's it. That's the system. And there's many systems. There is hypnosis. There is psychoanalysis. There is regression analysis. There is any host of therapies out there that can do this. The key is you've got to unlock what's in the subconscious and bring it into the conscious so that it takes the power away, so that you're not triggered back to there. And it's just, this is the way humans were created. It's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault. Hey, James, what's going on, buddy? Let's climb the ladder. It's nobody's fault. It's the way humans were born and made. It's a protection mechanism for us. So, but unfortunately, we carry those limiting beliefs with us our whole life, and sometimes we never even come close to dealing with them, and we constantly get triggered as an adult back to to this time where we behave like a child or someone that hasn't really gone through it. They haven't gone through their journey. So that is the key to success. And I say it with a little bit of hyperbole and kind of jokingly, it's like I've cracked the code to success, but it really is the confidence that going through that work of uncovering what your limiting beliefs are that gives you that confidence and that complete belief in yourself. And it's not a false kind of affirmation type of belief, like I am a wonderful person. No, this is confidence because you've gone through the journey, you've gone through the work, and you've identified what those limiting beliefs are, and you've done something to actively dissipate them, and then program in these positive, powerful new beliefs that carry us forward into whatever, into our dreams, into our purpose, into whatever we can fulfill in our lives. And it is the key. Now, can we uncover all the limiting beliefs? Maybe not. Now, let me also caution that sometimes there's some terrible situations that happen to people when they're young. I mean, really terrible situations that cause really ingrained trauma and drama. And that's not really what I'm talking about here. That does need to be seen by a therapist, and you need some serious help from a professional that all they do is focus on those kind of symptoms. I'm talking about most of us, average people that have had average to really good childhoods. I had a wonderful childhood. I still develop crazy limiting beliefs. And I think we all do, no matter how good or bad your childhood is. Or in that adult, that 7 to 20, 21 year age, you may have gotten out of a bad situation, but now you carry those with you and you're piling on even more limiting beliefs because you've had a rough start of it. So those really do take therapy. But I'm talking about a lot of us out there have had wonderful childhoods or average childhoods, and but we still created tons of limiting beliefs. And that's the key to success, is to intentionally get in there. Mr. James says, I love this, man. We let go of our limiting beliefs, and what a better way than the hero's journey. Yes, thank you, sir. I totally couldn't agree more. The hero's journey really does help us define these big chunks in our life and events that we reacted to. And sometimes we can identify limiting beliefs from our hero's journey. Sometimes we need to dive deeper even than our hero's journey to just zero in on what event happened that may not be in the journey we identified, but was a critical point, a flashpoint, if you will, that created these limiting beliefs. So, anyways, it's all I really wanted to talk about. Anybody have any comments, questions? If you missed the first part, I did briefly talk about the crazy situation that our country's in, and I think I want to believe that we're going to get through this, and I want to have the confidence, and I don't want to spread negativity, but I am extremely disappointed in the way that things went down, and it's very unsettling. But I'm going to continue to hope and hold out that we can heal, that we'll get this next president in, and no matter what happens, I think Joe Biden is the ideal guy to heal this country. It may take more than another president, because we're so divided, and for a while it's going to be anything but Biden kind of stuff for a while. So I hope that we can heal and come together. That's my hope and my prayer. Rebecca, hi honey, good to see you here. Let's see, he says, I find that my close relationships help me to endure. I'm peeling back layers of undoing my limiting beliefs. We're glad to be with me while I do some work on my weak areas. Yeah, that's your model, right? And I love it. I agree that finding the right people in our lives that really care for us and help us through those times is critical. And I believe that it first takes you personally looking into it yourself, having the will and the intention to really dive in. But if you got some people on your side that are willing to be there with you through the whole thing, golden. And it's so cool that Rebecca jumped on here, because Rebecca and her husband Chris were those people for me when I was going through some really rough stuff. And they were just there with me, helping me to heal and uncover and help me get through my journey. It was in the middle of my hero's journey, and they really helped me do that. So thank you, Miss Rebecca. Good to see you. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. That's all I got for today. Hopefully it sparked some interest if you're at all interested in learning more about how to reprogram and uncover your limiting beliefs. Get in touch with me. I'd love to talk to you about it and talk to you about ultimately success in whatever and however you define success in your life. And just remember that we are the heroes of our own lives. So until next time on Hero Life Hump Day, we'll see you. Have a great week, everybody. Bye.